I discovered that there's a winning formula that we teach at the Elliott Group, and I'm going to give it to you guys today, okay? I want you guys to remember this. 2 to 3 years taking your life serious can change everything. I remember when I got that information from Andy, and I literally said, I will hit my quota this month or I will die. Everybody wants the fucking 7-figure income, but they don't want to pay the 200 grand. I spend 100 grand a year on personal development. I spend 100 grand a year on taking care of my clients, like nurturing relationships, sending out gifts. For the longest time, I had been being a closer, which closing's awesome and it's sexy, but finding and building is where millionaires are built. You're gonna understand more about it than 99% of the world after the Zoom call. I will tell you an honest to God truth, because I don't believe in teaching anything that I'm not qualified to speak on. So I have to give you a little bit of prerequisite into who I am, what I'm gonna share, and the results you can expect to receive, okay? So for about the past 18 months in the Elliott Group, I've been one of the top performers, and for the past few months, I've taken the #1 spot. I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that because I've applied a certain strategy that's allowed me to soar past people that are more talented than me, smarter than me, more energetic than me, and have every advantage over me. But what they don't have is a couple things. They don't have the mindset. They don't have the strategy. I'm a strategy player. I'm going to talk about that a lot because I believe that, like, if you have the ability to forward plan more than your competition, you're going to dust them. They're in trouble. I've always been a believer in momentum, the power of consistency, right? I know that, like, what I do, like, I know that, so like the other day, right? I'll give you an example. I hired a sales guy on my team. He's shadowing me making calls. He watches me rip the phone burner 10 times straight and get 10 unanswered calls over a course of about 15 minutes. And I said, yes. And he goes, dude, what are you celebrating? I said, dude, that was 10 outbound efforts that's gonna pay me back at some point. I know what my hourly rate is on my sales job. So let me give you a quick exercise to do real quick. Take your annual income from the past 12 months, divide it by 2,000, which is roughly 40 hours a week over a year-long period. And that's gonna be your hourly rate. That's what you make per hour. So as long as you're participating in an income-producing activity in any given hour, if I make 100 phone calls in an hour and I don't get paid anything, I didn't get any forward momentum on a deal, I know that hour, I'm gonna get paid for that hour at some point. Does that make sense? So that would be #1. Now, it shocks people when I tell them my background and like how I got to, like when I tell them I'm #1 producer in the Elliott Group, because they're like, dude, I don't know, you're so young, or whatever people think when it comes to mine. But the reason I even share that is because my sales journey started about 5 years ago, and it really only got serious in the past 3 years. And I want you guys to remember this. 2 to 3 years taking your life serious can change everything. I mean, I think people think that the future that they desire is so far away, when in reality, 1 good year in real estate could change your entire life. You could produce a 7-figure income. You could completely annihilate any generational curses in 1 to 2 years. Now imagine like 3 to 5 to 10 growing with these guys right here. These guys with the good hair. I mean, look, you can't get hair like them, but you definitely can get a bank account like them, okay? You know what I'm saying? So,
100%.
So here's the big thing. I'm an underdog. I started 5 years ago. I was driving a $4,000 car that I put $1,000 down on. I bought by myself. My family are drug addicts, alcoholics. I'm not gonna give you the full background story. I'm just giving you the cliff notes because it'd be a 6-hour Zoom call. But I started off very poor. I started off not even at the zero. I started below zero. Does that make sense? Now here's another thing that I want to tell you. When I started, I had low self-worth, 0 confidence, 0 skills. And what changed for me is very simple, and that's kind of where I'm going to start. I discovered that there's a winning formula that we teach at the Elliott Group, and I'm going to give it to you guys today, okay? Skill set times mindset equals performance. That's the formula, okay? So here's kind of how it works. So when I started, I had zero skill set. And then one day I'm going along and I'm trying so hard to make it. I know for sure I'm not going to quit, because the dangerous part about underdogs is we got no plan B. I don't have a plan B, okay? So I'm gonna win. It's very simple. Like I could get embarrassed 1,000 times. I could lose every single day. I get my shit kicked in every day for 2 years. I'm not going anywhere. That's my number one superpower. So what I realized was I got about 6 months into car sales. This was about 4 years ago. And I was struggling and I was almost gonna quit. And I will tell you this, you have an advantage over me. You guys can succeed a lot faster than me. I didn't have great mentors around me, right? Like I found a mentor in Andy that was thousands of miles away from where I was at. I was living across the country here in the States. And I didn't have access to him the way you guys have access to Jake and David and the other leaders in your company. So you guys can probably grow a lot faster than me, but even finding someone online and desiring what they want, or like desiring to be where they're at, and that knowledge was dangerous for me. Like it was all I needed. I logged on to YouTube one night 4 years ago, selling cars. I saw Andy Elliott's videos and I said, it's about to get scary, because all I needed was like the information. I was dying for it, right? First thing he says is mindset and skill set is going to be the foundation of your whole life, right? So I started to go to work on my mindset. I started to realize that I had some limiting beliefs, and I had low self-worth, and I didn't want the success as bad as I said I wanted it. I had flawed thinking, right? And so I went to work on my mindset. I went to work on my skill set. Fast forward for like a year later, I'm making about $250,000 selling cars, which if I would have put in the amount of activity I put into cars into real estate, I'd probably have been making millions by that point, because I was working 80 hours a week, right? I was falling asleep at the wheel driving home every day. You know, that's how bad I wanted it. If you put in that kind of activity to real estate, you'd be a very dangerous human being. You know, you'd be on your way to being the next Donald Trump. You know. So here's how it works. Long story short, this is the main thing I want you guys to understand. If we took a guy that has an incredible skill set, but his mindset is complete dog crap, what are we gonna get? Well, like, let me give you an example. Like, here's how I had a mentor explain it to me. You got Shaquille O'Neal and you got Kobe Bryant. Shaquille O'Neal, probably way more likely to be successful. He's got the size, he's got every athletic gift you can possibly imagine, but his work ethic was not strong. Whereas Kobe's was like the strongest, he was not the most gifted, medium-sized dude in the NBA, becomes like one of the greatest players of all time, right? Okay, mindset-wise, there's 2 reasons you won't get what you want. There's only 2 reasons you're not where you want to be. I want you guys to write this down. There's only 2 reasons you're not where you want to be. Number 1, you don't want it bad enough, or number 2, you don't think you deserve it. We've been doing this for a long time, okay? And I'm telling you that we've tried every reason to figure out why somebody would not have success in life. And it comes down to these 2 things. So here's how it works. Number 1, I'm gonna show you how to overcome both of those, okay? So number 1, like, let's address you not wanting it as bad as you think you want it, right? So I'm gonna give you guys an honest assessment. And this is really good feedback for you guys to have as a company, because I stand in front of a lot of companies throughout the year, and I get to feel, the number 1 thing I do before I jump on a call is I feel the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even through a Zoom, I can feel if you guys worked out today. How many of you guys worked out today? Raise your hand. See, I'm getting decent vibes. I feel like we could be a little bit more fired up, but you know, I got good energy. But here's my honest feedback on you guys. You guys have pretty good energy. Now, don't get flattered. You don't have the best, okay? But you got pretty good energy. You don't have the best I've ever seen. You guys aren't psychopaths just yet. You guys aren't crazy Andy Elliott Army like status yet, but you guys definitely aren't dead bobs, which is very good. So here's what I want you to write down. Check your temperature. What's your temperature at? Okay? I'm going to tell you this. How many of you guys have been selling for more than a year? Okay, more than 2 years. More than 3. Okay, got it. So some of you guys are going to feel attacked by this, and some of you guys are going to know that this doesn't apply to me, because I'm hungry as shit. And only you can assess yourself. I can't assess your work ethic for you. I can't assess how far you're going to go. These are questions that you have to like give yourself the real raw truth. If you've been doing this for longer than a year, 3 years, and you have good results, meaning you're making a couple $100,000, you're in a good spot financially, better than you ever would have imagined, There was a period in time where you were running at a hotter temperature than you are right now. There was a period in time where you showed up to work and you would close everybody because you needed the sale. You needed it. Your back was against a wall. You had people doubting you or people believing in you that you didn't want to let down, and you were a psychopath. I bet if I had a deep conversation with Jake and David, they could tell me which one of you guys used to have a hot temperature and used to run at a 110, and now you're running at like a cool 70. It's the most devastating thing to David and Jake to see someone rise up and then just fall off the face of the earth with their progress, right? I'm sure all of you guys can think of a time when you were like super fired up. You were showing up, you wouldn't even let the phone hit the freaking hang up thing for more than a second before you were dialing the next lead, right? I remember when I got into car sales, and I remember when I got that information from Andy, and I literally said, I will hit my quota this month or I will die. Like that's just the only way to do it because, and you want to know why? And this is why, this is going to help you with wanting it bad enough. I was tired of letting myself down. I wanted to be proud of myself. There's a thing that most people never experience in their life, and that's being proud of themselves. You don't have to impress anybody. Like, I will tell you that, Andy has taught me, and everybody on our team, if you talk to anybody in the Elliott Group, we can stand in front of any audience and give our raw, authentic truth without fear of judgment because we're proud of us. Like, I hop on these Zoom calls, and I don't need your approval. I need you to understand that you're qualified. Like, that's all I care about. I don't really care if any of you guys like me or ever want to talk to me ever again. I want this message to resonate with you and you to have an honest conversation with yourself. Okay? So, all right, guys, people ask me all the time, Brendan, how can I get closer to you, Andy, the Elliott Group, so I can go to the next level? So, we just dropped our newest program called ETA Plus, and it's a really cool opportunity to get all the coaching that the Elliott Group offers and also get really close to me as well so I can personally coach you too. ETA, you get access to all of our exclusive content, Zoom calls every single week, you live stream every single Elliott event we do 12 events per year. Also, when you join with me, you're going to join my personal community, I'm going to coach you, and then also you'll be a part of a group of like-minded men and women that are going to the next level. So if you guys want to join, I'm going to put my cell phone number right here on the video. I just want you to text me ETA, okay? And I'll reach out to you, I'll get you all the information. It's super cheap and affordable. It's designed to help every salesperson and business owner level up and go to the next level. Let's get back to the video. You're focused on the wrong things. This is another piece of this, okay? I want you to write this down. You're focused on the wrong things. Most people are focused on getting rich, not getting better. And that's the big shift that we need to have. If you're in that position where your temperature is not as hot, a lot of you guys are probably like, okay, I've gone farther than I ever imagined, but you gotta create a new mountain in your life, right? And you have to go back to stop focusing on how much money you're making each month, and you have to focus on becoming the best. Like that would be my superpower. Is I don't get emotional about the results. You should write that down. Don't get emotional about the results. See, because let's address the second part of this real quick. And then I'm going to come back to something else. I'm going to give you guys some homework. So let's talk about the self-doubt, like how to handle self-doubt, right? Self-doubt is super simple. All you have to do is understand the law of averages. The law of averages, okay? You see, I had a breakthrough 18 months ago. Like I joined, it's funny how accomplishment works. And this is, a lot of you guys can probably relate. I went from making $250,000 selling cars about 3 years ago to jumping into Andy Elliott's team. So since I had the identity of a guy who earned $250,000 a year, what do you think I started earning when I got here? Right when I got here, $250,000 right away. Why is that? It's not because this was a totally new industry I knew nothing about. My identity was $250,000. That was my identity. Now it helped me and it hurt me because I got in and I started making $250,000. I went about a year flat. And it pissed me the hell off. And then one day Andy goes like this. He's like, when are you going to be my freaking top guy, bro? I thought I had this big potential for it. I had this big vision for you, and you don't want it. And you know what pissed me off so much about that? I knew I wanted it. Like a lot of you guys are not number one on the board, and you know you want it. You know you doubt yourself. And that was me. I was like, I can never imagine myself being a top Elliott earner because the top guys here make 7 figures a year. I was like, I can never imagine being that guy. And after I had that conversation with Andy, which by the way, a real leader will have honest conversations with you. If you've never had, well actually I'm not even gonna say that because I know a lot of you guys have had moments where you want to punch Jake or David in the face. Raise your hand if that's true. Incriminate yourself right now.
Come on, guys, don't be soft.
Oh, y'all are scared.
We're not hard enough.
See, hey, Jake's the only honest person in the group on the Zoom call right now. So I had that conversation with Andy, and I was like, that pissed me off because I know I'm worth it. And I was like, what do I have to do to have a breakthrough, right? Let me tell you how to create a breakthrough. Outwork your self-doubt. Outwork your self-doubt. You have to know the numbers on your business. In which I'm sure if you called Jake and you said, what's the numbers? He could tell you exactly what they are. See, I know my numbers in my business. It works like this. Calls, conversations, offers, closes. If I get on X amount of calls, I'm going to have X amount of conversations, which is going to lead to X amount of offers and X amount of closes. That's how it's worked since the day I got here. That's how it's going to continue to work long after I'm in this industry. And that's how it works in your industry. Does that make sense to you guys? So all I have to do is I have to focus on, I can't manage their results. I can't tell you that like, if Brandon gets off this call, he'll go make 7 figures a year. I don't know that. Like none of us can control the non-controllables. We can control one thing though, that's our behavior, right? So what I had to do is I said, you know what? I want to hit this target. I want to triple, quadruple my income. I said, Andy, what do I need to do? He said, you need to have this amount of calls, this amount of conversations, this amount of offers, this amount of closes. I'm like, okay, cool. That's going to require 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day, but I'm going to do that shit, right? So I went out and I attacked it, had a breakthrough. Here's the reward. I want you to write this down. When you hit new levels, you get awarded with a new identity. I could remove David from real estate right now, recruit him to the Elliott Group. In a year, the guy would be making 7 figures a year. You know why? Because that's who the fuck he is, and no one can take it from him. That's how he views himself. See, there's a book by Patrick Bet-David, and it's called Your Next 5 Moves. One of the first moves he talks about is you have to know yourself, right? So I want you guys to write that down. That's big homework. He says, master knowing yourself. There's 2 questions you got to be able to answer in life. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Right? If you can't answer that, that would be why you're not where you want to be. Now, here's what I'll tell you. And I'm going to give you guys a badass tip. Like I'm going to give you guys something that's going to help you. You got to study the most important thing in your life, which is yourself. You got to really understand yourself, right? So what I would recommend to get to kind of circle back to like how to figure out, like if you're like, hey, I need to know, how do I get myself to want something more? Well, there's a lot of personality tests out there, right? And again, like you might be thinking, dude, I got to sell real estate. Like I don't have time to, shut up. You're not a 7-figure earner yet. So like this is worth listening to right now. There's a thing called slowing down to speed up. A lot of you guys are running too fast to ever even figure out who you are, what you want, like setting up your business, building relationships, doing the stuff that's going to get you success long term. So Patrick Bet-David has a quiz. Most personality quizzes are exactly the same. It's a quadrant. Like there's only 1 of 4 answers they're going to give you. 4 personality types. All the tests are kind of the same. But Patrick Bet-David has one that's simple. It's like it tells you there's 4 main drivers of human behavior, right? You have purpose, individuality, madness, and I forget what the other one is because I'm not driven by it at all. Something weak. I'm just kidding. But I only need to tell you those 3 because the one I'm driven by is madness. So like once I know that like this is like Chinese to you right now, but you need to really like learn how to understand this because I'm not driven by materialistic things. I'm driven by being the best. That's what drives me. I'm a psychopath. Like if you put a spiff, like going back to working here, right? I had a breakthrough and then I started soaring to the top of the board. And then a couple months ago, I became number 1 and I got a little $50,000 Rolex Daytona from Andy, right? Being number 1 is pretty cool. Just, you know, if you take anything away from this call, just remember that. Being number 1 is cool. Ask Jake, ask David, you know? It comes with perks. So, The main thing that I want you guys to take away is I realized that my driver is madness. So how do I drive myself? You want to know? I have to keep my back against a wall. I gotta stay uncomfortable. And that would be the problem with like 99% of people is they're way too freaking comfortable. Way too comfortable. The best thing a lot of you guys could do is call me or any other company, any other personal development company, and pay them $20 or $50 or $100,000. Because the minute that money departed from your account, you would show up to work the next day like, all right, I gotta sell some houses today. And all of a sudden you'd be a top producer. And by the way, while I'm on this subject, let me give you guys a couple things, because a lot of people see me and they're like, dude, that's awesome that you're the top guy. They see the sexy stuff, right? Well, what winners really are obsessed with is not the sexy stuff, the watches, the cars, the results, all that stuff. They're obsessed with the unsexy stuff, right? Let me give you an example. So I spend $100,000 a year on personal development. I spend $100,000 a year on taking care of my clients, like nurturing relationships, sending out gifts. I've bought courtside tickets for clients before. That's $200,000, okay, that I've watched leave my bank account this year in order to grow my business, right? Everybody wants the fucking 7-figure income, but they don't want to pay the $200,000. And I know David and Jake are like, damn, I feel you right now, because like they know the expenses of running a business. It's like every day something's leaving your account. You're like, Jesus Christ, what? I forgot about this expense. You don't even notice sometimes a couple $1,000s leaving the account, right? But the best thing a lot of you guys could do is shift from having a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Scarcity to abundance. How you guys feeling so far, man? You guys getting some value?
Good, man. Super good. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. That's good to hear. All right, couple more things, and then we'll move on to like some skill set. I got good news. You sat through the boring part, which if you're a winner, this was good for you. If you're like got poo-poo pants, then you're probably like, man, I can't wait till this call's over so I can eat breakfast. Your breakfast can wait, okay? You've been eating breakfast all year, okay? All right, couple more things. 2 types of thinking you need to master. I'm really passionate about this. I'm extremely passionate about this right here. Thinking bigger and thinking longer term are the 2 types of thinking you got to master, okay? So let me rewind you one more time to about 2.5 years ago. Really, let me take you back to 18 months ago in my life, okay? I started researching because I was like, okay, this is bullshit. I want to become a top producer. I'm tired of being at the bottom. I fixed the self-worth thing. That was a thing for the past. Remember what we talked about, mindset times skill set? I fixed the mindset part. I was like, I know I want it. I know why I want it. I know I no longer doubt myself. Let's talk about some skill sets. I looked at my business, right? And I realized, and I also learned this from Patrick Bet-David, there's 3 types of salespeople: finders, closers, and builders. Those are the 3 types of salespeople. So I went to work on my business and I looked at the behaviors I had been doing for the past year working for Andy. And I realized I made a massive mistake, okay? I was very transactional and I wasn't relational. Now, if you guys were door-to-door salesmen, I probably wouldn't even talk about this because it'd be irrelevant, because that's a very transactional industry. You're knocking doors, selling a house, and you're gone. Real estate is relational, correct? The most powerful person on this Zoom call, like that I can assure you will be the top producer in the next couple years, and probably long after that, is the person who participates in activities with the highest form of leverage. That's who the most powerful person on the call is, okay? So what happened to me was, I said, I got to start participating in long-term activity, right? So here's how it worked. And now I'm going to get into the business part, okay? First of all, and I'll touch on one more thing before I go into business, and this is going to hit home for a lot of you guys. Another skill of mine, which correlates back to long-term thinking, and I'm going to tell you how I can sell with 0 stress in my life, is I'm not a fucking idiot when it comes to money, okay? Because I know a lot of salespeople that make a lot of money and are broke as shit. And they sell stressed out. I sell like this. Oh, you don't want to do it? No problem, man. Love you, bro. Let me know when you're ready. For 2 reasons. One, I put in a lot of input, so I got a big ass pipeline. So I'm not scared to lose a deal. Number 2, because I take care of my money financially. So I don't have a big car payment. Matter of fact, I have no automotive debt, credit card debt. I got debt on 2 real estate properties I got. That's it. So I realized from a like a beginner's standpoint, even like just starting out in sales, that like I don't sell good when I'm stressed out. I just don't. And so what I do is I pay off debt. I keep low debt. I intentionally keep my cash low. I intentionally invest in a lot of things so I can always have low cash. So I'm like fired up, but at the end of the day, like I'm not panicking anytime I don't hit my quota. Does that make sense? So just a tip, which any wealthy person will back me on this. Take care of your money. Don't be a dum-dum. And here's the thing, right? If this was some MLM, like some MLM bullshit, David would probably be like, bro, you weren't supposed to tell him that. I wanted to keep him broke. Let me tell you what a good sales leader's goal is for all of his salespeople. He wants all of you guys to be millionaires. That's what he wants, okay? That is exactly what he wants for all of you. The question is, do you want to be a millionaire? That's all it comes down to. Okay, I can assure you if I were to go, you know what, screw this Andy Elliott gig, I'm going to Canada, baby. I bet you I'd freaking work my way up there fast. I'd be hungry, Your guys' temperatures would raise pretty quick. You'd be like, oh shit, old Brendan Whiting with the short little hair is gonna take me out.
Let's go.
All right, so now let's get into the skill. So now I told you about building the pipeline, right? Let me tell you a dangerous freaking hack for business, okay? So 18 months ago, I said, I'm gonna be relational from now on. And also, for what it's worth, being relational in business is way better, bro. It's way better. Like, I have people in my phone book, clients will turn into friends faster than friends will turn into clients. Some of my best friends came from the Elliott Group. Matter of fact, all of them. Because I'm like, dude, you like being a high performer? I like being a high performer. You like building people up? I like building people up. You want to push? You want to be pushed and go to the next level? I want to be pushed. Let's be friends, dude. You like golfing? So, and so what I started to do is I said this. I said, the most powerful thing I can do is build my pipeline. For the longest time, I had been being a closer, which closing's awesome and it's sexy. But finding and building is where millionaires are built. Okay? I always tell people this, and this is my biggest flex in sales. It's not that I close. It's not that I have sneaky word tracks. My biggest flex in sales is that if I picked up my phone right now, I could call my top clients, ask them to wire me $100,000 because I needed to hit a bonus or I just needed to pull a favor. And they'd be like, dude, done, no problem. I trust you. Like, that's my biggest flex. And what that means is I do the right thing, right? I always say this. I'll be damned before I put my name on a deal that the person doesn't get completely over-delivered. I would rather be dead. Number one, because it's just against my core values, because I got a lot of integrity. That's my number one core value is integrity. Because I've been fucked over a lot before. So I would never want to do that to anybody. But secondly, because I know that you get rich when you do that. Money doesn't grow on trees, it grows in other people's pockets. So if you get really good at the relationship game, you'll get really, really rich really, really fast. So here's how I do it. Number one, obviously follow-up is super badass. But let me tell you a little secret hack that I use, okay? I'm a freak about organization. I'm a freak about it because I want to stay in front of my best clients. There's a skill set in sales that top performers have called intuition. Intuition means you can read people pretty well. That means you can tell the difference between a tire kicker and someone who's actually worth spending time with. And you can tell the difference between someone who's relational and gonna send you a lot of referrals and you guys are gonna do a lot of business together, and someone who is a low frequency person that should probably go to another real estate office and buy from somebody else, right? Because all they value is the cheapest deal and not the best service, right? So here's what I did. I went through my book of business and I said, who are the clients? Let me find, nurture, and utilize my top relationships I have in my life. So here's how I did. I went through my entire book of business since I've worked here. And I said, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, They're gracious in relationships. They're great people. They deserve over delivery. They deserve my time and energy. So I reached out to a lot of them. I said, hey, dude, you're a great client, man. What else can I do for you? Now notice, when I make that call, is that with the intention to sell? No. That's called nurturing. Nurturing, or AKA building relationships. So what I started to do was, I started to make a list, and I literally have a Google document that's titled Top Clients. This is for people that I've identified that are studs in their industry, care a lot, are going to push me, and I'm going to push them to the next level. Have great intentions, and ultimately will become great clients. I know it. Like my intuition has taught me. And I didn't start out with great intuition, but how I learned was by putting the wrong motherfuckers on that top clients list, and then realizing pretty quick identifying why I was wrong about the judgment, right? And what happens now is when I make this top clients list, if you get put on that, you're done, bro. You're going to be buying from me for life. That's how it works. So what you need to do is, as you go out and you're making calls, right, which is short term, like that's called the force moves. There's called force moves and power moves in business. A force move is making a cold call, hoping to sell a house today. A power move is putting a big client that could be big referrals or big deals in the future on your top clients list and nurturing that person, taking them out to dinner, taking them golfing, sending them some swag or send them a gift for them or their family. That's called a power move. The difference is like this. If I had, you guys ever seen what's that called? The balls that hang, like, no Diddy, what I'm saying? Not to get weird, but, that game where you pull the ball back, the momentum. So if you, like a force move is like you barely pull it back and you just let it hit. It doesn't do anything to the other balls. If I pull it way back, it requires more front end effort, but for a bigger impact in the long term. Does that make sense? So, because like low frequency salespeople, they think, I don't have time to take care of relationships and make this list. What do you mean? You don't have time to freaking be rich and be successful? I think that's what you said, right? So I make this top clients relationships, and I literally go through every single day and I nurture all of these clients. What does nurturing look like? Here's how you can nurture some people. Words of encouragement, referrals, gifts. Yes, you got to pay for them out of your own pocket with your own money. Don't be asking Dave, hey Dave, can I send Ruby a $100 gift card to Outback Steakhouse? Shut up. Get out of here. Get out of here. But remember, words of encouragement, referrals, gifts, all things like this. Like let me give you an example. I prefer to have business owners on my top clients list in my network. I mean, I'm sure you do too. Like if you run into a guy who's got 12 rental properties, that'd be a good guy to have on your top clients list to get him to know, like, and trust you. Remember that. What's your goal with your top clients list? To get them to know, like, and trust you. Because what does that mean? That means when they're ready to buy, they're already sold. So you basically just planted a seed that one day it's going to sprout and they're going to need a house and they're going to go, you know what? My last realtor, he sold me my house. I didn't even talk to me in 3 years. But this Christina girl sends me freaking Outback Steakhouse gift cards and tells me I'm freaking crushing it on social media every day. I think I'm going to buy my house from her. And now guess what? We get out the 2x4s. We go to the competition's door. We put the 2x4s on their doors and we freaking hammer in those nails, baby. Because they're freaking playing small and we're over here crushing it, right? So again, remember how I said long-term? Do you guys see how this is a long-term play? I have bad news and I have good news. The bad news is it doesn't happen quickly. The good news is it is a guaranteed path to getting rich. That would be the good news, okay? Now, I'm going to cover one more thing with you guys because I feel like this is super valuable as well. And this ties into everything that I'm talking about right now, okay? And this is social media because I generate 90% of my business for Andy is self-generated through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, things like that. I'm sure David and Jake love paying for ads and all the marketing things they do, but I'm sure they love it if Sebastian were to come and sell a house, get $1 million listing off his own Instagram. There's nothing a sales leader loves more than a salesperson who can self-generate their leads. So I'm going to tie in the relationships, because relationships and social media go hand in hand. The goal is the same. A lot of people think the goal of social media is to sell. The goal is not to sell. The goal is to get people to know, like, and trust you. The goal is to build an audience and get them to know, like, and trust you. Okay? Again, what I'm about to talk about is a long-term play. So if you plan on, going and working at Wendy's in the next 6 months, then don't do this. It's not worth your time. But if you want to actually be successful here, then this is the play, I'm telling you. So a lot of people think, again, that social media is about sales. They think people don't log on to get pitched. That's why you got to pay to run ads, because that's not why people log on. People log on to get entertained, educated, or inspired. That's why they log on. So the thing that most realtors do wrong with social media is they get on social media and every day, what is it? Sales pitch, sales pitch, sales pitch, sales pitch. Do you guys know what the algorithm is? The algorithm works like this. If David posts houses every single day and is constantly sales pitching me, I'm only going to like that post if I'm in the market to buy a house, correct? I'm only going to like a sales pitch if I'm in the mood to be pitch something, right? Which most people aren't in the mood to be pitched every single day. I've yet to find one person. I tried, it didn't work. With that being said, what happens is after a while, David disappears from my timeline because I never like his posts. So now, even though I follow David, the Instagram goes, man, you don't like his crap. I ain't showing it to you no more. So now I log on and I see other people's stuff. Well, what happens? 6 months go by, a year goes by, 2 years go by. I'm ready to buy a house now. Marketing is the right message to the right person at the right time. And guess what? At the right time, for me, David ain't there, because he ain't in my algorithm no more. And I go buy a house from somebody else, David sees my post and he's like, bro, I sell real estate. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about you, man. So here's the play. Let me give you the play. Number one, I always say there's 3 pillars of social media: the platform, the format, and the content. That's the 3 pillars. Here's how it works. So you have to understand what your demographic is, right? Your demographic, like most industries that are similar to your guys's, your demographic is between 30 and 70 years old. Or at least, if not that age, family, married, kids. What platform are people on to cover the first pillar? What platform are people on to have kids and are married? Facebook. Facebook's the money machine. That's where I sold all my cars at. That's how I made $250,000 selling cars. So I said, okay, I got the platform. What's the next pillar? The format. There's formats to post. You can post the same message, the same content in 5 different formats: a live video, a Facebook story, a Facebook reel, a captioned photo, or a short caption. So let me give you an example. Let's say I wanted to make a post and I wanted to say, Dave's awesome. I could go live on Facebook and I could go, hey guys, I wanted to go live, say Dave's awesome. That's one format, right? Same message, different format. I want to make sure this clicks with you guys. I could post a story. Take a little picture right now. Dave's awesome. I'm probably going to do that, by the way. I could, hey, let's go. What format is that, bro? What's your format?
Video for sure, my guy.
Let's go.
Man.
Let's go. But yeah, you can do reel, you can do story, you can do caption, short caption, which, let me show you what a short caption looks like. This is really important because you have to understand the platform and the formats, what formats perform the best on each platform. Does that make sense? So the best performing format on Facebook is this right here: short caption photos. So this is a post I made the other day. Yeah, you probably can't read it. It says sales is about relationships, not money. Put people first and the money comes easy. See, I didn't come up with this shit this morning, I promise. So this post, let me just explain this to you. This post got 130 likes, 14 comments, 15 shares, and 6,000 people saw this post. And I made a couple bucks on it, because I'm getting rich off Facebook. I'm cashing in a couple dollars a month. It's pretty cool. I'm just kidding. But my point is this. So that format does really well on Facebook. The way you do it is you just type, and you don't type too many characters, and then it'll allow you to customize the background. But just to recap: format, live, story, short caption, caption with the photo, and then a reel. You can do reels on Facebook too. So now that we got that out of the way, we decided Facebook's the platform. We decided the formats, we know the 5 formats. Now, how do we come up with the content? You guys are like, well, I'm not a creator. Well, let me explain something to you. It's 2024. There's an app that's called ChatGPT, and it's really cool. You can go to ChatGPT, and you can literally get content ideas for days, right? Now, let me explain to you, there's one more pillar of social media I didn't tell you about yet, okay? So, remember the pillars: platform, format, content, and then buckets. That's the last one, buckets. Now, let me explain to you how this works. This is how we're going to do social media completely different than the competition. So, I always say you need to build 3 to 5 buckets to post out of. Bucket, like topic ideas, pillars, if you will, to post from. You guys want to take a guess which bucket most realtors post from every single day? The real estate bucket. The sales pitch bucket is the bucket they post from. So, and most likely, most of you guys are doing the same thing if you're using it at all. And if you've never used social media, then this is a really good meeting for you, because like you're going to understand more about it than 99% of the world after this Zoom call. So you establish what's called the buckets, because again, the goal is know, like, and trust, not sales. So we still have to have the real estate implemented into what we post, but it can't be every day a sales pitch, or then you become just like everybody else. And then you're out of the algorithm, you're in wasteland, no one sees your shit, they buy from other people, and you just post all the time. So here's what you do. Let's say that we wanted to come up with 5 buckets of content topics to post from, okay? Real estate's gonna be one, of course. And here's the other 4. Here's how you determine the other 4. You guys wanna know? What does your ideal customer want to see? What do they engage with? So for me, if I sell real estate, family, like you got a family, talk about that. Fitness, there's another bucket. Community, what's going on in the community. And then maybe inspiring messages. You call it inspiration. So family, community, inspiration, and I got ADD, so I forgot the other one.
Fitness.
Bam, fitness. Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Okay, now let me explain to you how this play works. So day 1, you're gonna start today, and you're gonna go, okay, I give sales teams assignments. I like to give people homework, because I don't want you to get off this call and then go, man, I'm so fired up, and then still, not do anything. So I give salespeople a 30-day assignment. Here's what I do. I say, okay, I want you to go to your Facebook, and if you have a professional account on Facebook, which if you don't, you can switch it, you can see your dashboard, and it shows you all your data. How many people you're reaching a month, how many people have started following you in the last month, like how many net followers you gained. It shows you all the data. So I have salespeople go and show me their data day 1 and day 30. And I have them do 6 sets of 5. Does that make sense? 6 rotations of the 5 buckets of social media posts. So here's how it would work if you guys wanted to run this play. Today's day 1. You say, first day I'm going to post from bucket number 2, fitness. That's where I'm going to start. My bad, family. Here's what I'm going to do. So again, the pillars. I got the buckets, the content, the format, the platform. I know I'm going to post it on Facebook. I know what formats there are available at my disposal. I need a content idea. Hey, ChatGPT, give me some ideas on family posts. And dude, it spits out epic ideas, hundreds. I could say, give me 7,000 and figure out how to do it. It's a robot. Now, here's what you do. You don't go and copy and paste it, right? Because if you copy and paste it, it goes, hello, my name is Christina. Today I want to talk to you about, and it sounds like a robot. It's like no one engages with it. But you take the idea and then you shape it into your own message, and then you fire it up and it crushes. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
So you get the idea, you find the bucket. Today's day 1. We're going to talk about, family. You get the content, idea, now you got the message. Now you go, how am I going to deliver it? Is it going to be a reel, story, caption? What is it going to be? And then you fire it up, and that's it. Now, let's run this play. Family, day 1. Day 2, what are we going to talk about? Anybody know? Fitness. Day 3, community. Day 4, inspiring message. And guess what we talk about on day 5, baby? Real estate. Houses. And you're going to make content a little bit different from now on. You're not going to go like this. Hey guys, it's David. Today I got this house right here that just went up for listing. It's, here's all the specs. Let me know if you want to buy it. No, here's what you do instead. Here's the 3 mistakes people make when they're looking at a real estate purchase. You give them value, right? You give people value. Okay? Now here's what happens. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen if you're a serial pitcher. You know what I'm saying? If you've been pitching your audience every day for the past 5 years about real estate, okay? What you got to do is you got to figure out. Sorry, somebody fucking walked in here. Motherfuckers distracting me. I'm freaking punching somebody in the face, dude. I'm freaking in flow state, dude. You gotta can't interrupt the flow, bro. You know? So here's what's gonna happen. You guys about witnessed an Elliott fight, freaking showdown, dude. What it's like to really be on the sales floor. Bloody knuckles. I'm just kidding. Okay, so what you do is once you start running this play, here's what's gonna happen. Your first day you're gonna post about family. Here's what's gonna happen. The post is gonna explode. Because people are going to be like, oh my God, Nate Della Paz is not a robot, real estate agent. He's a human being with a family. I love that. Like, that resonates with me because I got a family. Now I'm starting to know, like, and trust him, right? And now you're building relationship capital. Write that down. How much relationship capital do I have with my audience and with my network? How much do you have? If you don't have a lot, you're gonna have a really hard time asking people for favors. That's why I say I could call, a couple dozen people, ask them to spend $100,000 with me, and they would, because I have a relationship capital. Because every time we talk, it's value, it's not ask. Yes, I close people all the time, but I don't ask them all the time to buy. Okay? So you run the play, your engagement's gonna soar through the roof. Since you're giving people value, I promise after 3 days, people aren't gonna forget you sell real estate. But they're going to be engaging on your posts, so you're going to stay within their algorithm so that when they're ready, you're the person that they're looking to. Does that make sense? Right message, right person, right time. So again, if you guys want the homework, this is how it works. 6 sets of 5. 6 sets of 5 reps. It's like at the gym. Run the play, pull the pillars for 5 days straight, repeat 6 times, or repeat 5 times after that. 6 times total. In 30 days, your engagement will be up, and here's what'll happen. You will be reaching on social media a lot more people than you are now, probably 5 to 10x what you're currently reaching. So if you go from reaching 10,000 people a month to 100,000, why is that good for you? Well, I know the data, and you should know the data on how often people buy your product. If people have a home buying cycle of every 5 to 10 years, let's say it's 10 years, 10,000 people, some of those people are going to be hot and in the market soon. And when that day comes, you're going to be glad you're running this play. Because while Jake is making cold calls still, Sebastian's going to be like, oh, I got 2 listings, or I got 2 closings today. He's going to be like, where do you get those closings from, man? He's like, dude, that freaking guy with the short hair on Andy Elliott's team, he taught me that play. And now I'm getting all these closings. And he's going to be like, dude, I want to do that. And he's going to be like, dude, you're in the same meeting. But you went right back to freaking doing the little force moves, you know? That's the power of leverage. I'm a big leverage guy. Again, remember, and I'll circle back. The person who participates in the activities with the highest form of leverage wins. Because imagine the play 2 to 5 to 10 years from now. You have a big ass audience, you're reaching 1 million people a month, and you don't make calls anymore. You still would happily make calls, but you're so busy working with people who know, like, and trust you already, so they're easier to sell, that you're just closing deals all the time. The only time you stop is when you go to my or Jake's haircut, or Jake's amazing hair. That's the only time you stop. I'm building that relationship capital.
Let's go, man.
Let's go, baby. Hopefully he likes hair compliments. If not, this didn't go over well. All right, so, I mean, dude, with that pretty well concludes the meeting. We did a good job, okay? Okay, I'm proud of myself for one reason. I didn't overrun. Typically, this would be like a 2-hour meeting. Y'all be really really upset. But yeah, so we're pretty much done, dude. I mean, look, I got 5 minutes before I'll get kicked out of the studio because it's booked by the hour. I can take like a few more questions.
Thank you so much for your time today, man. Your ability to talk straight for 55 minutes is very impressive. So thanks for what you do, man. Thanks for pouring it into us today. I have a question right away, man.
Yeah.
How do you manage the balance of my brain is constantly obsessed with the next deal? I'm very much like it's early on. I had to have that transactional muscle because I didn't have anybody to build relationships with yet. And my brain is still very transactional. Like I get caught in like I want the next deal, and I'm fighting myself to slow down to think about the power move, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
Have you had to make that transition at all? How has it been for you?
Dude, that's a great question. Well, here's how I do it. I time block my day. So like I go and like it's really hard, dude. Discipline with your time management is really hard. Like one thing I forgot to mention about time management is like you know, and like let's circle back because I did forget to tell you guys this. This is a little secret hack of salespeople. Okay, are you guys ready for me to tell you about a powerful tool that will make you a millionaire? It's called Google Calendar. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me explain to you how I use Google Calendar. So remember I told you the top client relationships, and you guys are probably thinking, how do you keep up with those people? Well, what I do is I schedule follow-up with them. If I say, hey, I want to build a relationship with David, and remember, the key to sales success is intentionality, right? I want to build a relationship with David. I'll schedule out the next 6 months of follow-up. I'll go, hey, Friday I'm gonna call him. Next Wednesday I'm gonna text him. A month after that I'm gonna send him an email. I'm gonna send him a gift in the mail. And then I have it all scheduled out, and then I'm just disciplined. Like whenever the timer goes off, I go, oh, got to slow down for 1 minute and just send this quick text. And then bam, I'm on my way. Now, to answer your question, Jake, I schedule time blocks in my calendar. So like, typically I like to do it either early in the morning or late in the afternoon because midday I'm in flow state and I need to be like I need to be in persuasion mode. But like once my flow state wears off, once my energy is a little bit down than what it like my hottest, temperature throughout the day, like maybe 4 to 7 p.m., which is actually like the hours I do it. I hop on my computer, type, send texts, send gifts, schedule meetings, nurture relationships, congratulate people on things, send out memes, whatever it may be, and things like that. And then same thing early in the morning. Like let me give you an example, and I'll tell you guys this because I like to explain this because I'm not a fraud. I woke up at 4 a.m. today. From 4 to 6 a.m. I was working. I booked the next 3 hours after this meeting to get ready for like to do make some big plays with a lot of my top clients, right? Then I went to the gym from 6 to 7. Then I speedily, and then I may or may not have, sped a little bit on my drive home because I was running kind of behind. Made time to do my hair because it's not long and lanky, and showed up to you motherfuckers. Yep. But yeah, so like that's how I kind of do it. So like I do it early morning, late at night, and I just tell myself, I'm like, dude, I have to do this. Like it's a skill. It took a while for me to build, but like, because I'm still the same way. I still want to sell all the time and close deals, but like I know how valuable it is because I know what it's costed me over the past couple years not being this way the whole time.
Social media, is there a time you schedule that into your day each day? Is it a daily thing? Do you weekly kind of batch it all in one go?
So currently, like my platform, my platform content formats are different because I'm in a different industry. I'm targeting Instagram's my platform. I think Sebastian follows me on Instagram. He probably knows I'm a freak on Instagram, bro. Like I'm pretty consistent, which is crazy to see this cat here. I've been seeing this guy on Instagram, dude. He's a stud, dude. He's a killer.
Let's go. Let's go. We got
Dope. Yeah, but anyways, bro, you're killing it. But I post twice a day, but I do schedule it though. 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Hell yeah.
You post twice a day, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Yeah, every day for the past year. Once a day for the past 3 years. But well, hey guys, so I actually got to run. The next session is booked. But let's do this real quick. Let me get a quick video, you guys. Like, everybody let out your best freaking let's go and to get this day started, okay? All right, let's go. Let me hear it. Let me hear if you guys got energy.
Let's go.
Let's
go, baby.
Let's go, dude. Y'all are making Dave and Jake proud, dude. I love it. All right, guys, thanks again for watching another video. And one thing I want you to know is that every single week I'm putting out free value that's going to help you go to the next level in sales, personal branding, and as a leader as well. So if you guys are enjoying the content, I want you to like the video, comment below, let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this training, and then subscribe and share with your friends if you know somebody who wants to level up. And lastly, if you guys need help from me at all, anything, I want you to text me. I'm gonna put my phone number right here. You can text me with any concerns, questions, anything you want, and I'm happy to help. Thanks for watching another video. I'll see you guys next time.